different field of view.
Hey everybody, Kent Martins here. Welcome to Amazon Live via Explore Scientific. Today's show is On the Wing. We're going to be talking about bird watching. Bird watching is an immensely popular hobby in the United States, and people get all sorts of pleasure from it. It doesn't matter where you live, you've got birds unless you live like out in I think that the Saudi empty quarter may not have birds, but there are birds there too. So there's birds everywhere. So you can bird watch wherever you are. All you need to do some bird watching is, if you're in North America, you can look over in the carousel right now and find a copy of the National Geographic Field Guide to North American Birds, the birds of North America. A fantastic field guide that I use in the office to reference birds and look up birds, as well as out in the field. I take one, have one in my travel trailer, and use it when I'm doing bird watching as well. So pick up a bird book. That's one of the first steps. And with that, you can start bird watching. You can buy that book right now over in the carousel, and then you can go start watching birds. And the fun part about them is writing down when you find them. Keep lists of what birds you saw, what days, and where. And if that doesn't, not your thing, then start working on your life list like I am. And I'm not writing down every bird every time I see it, but I'm adding it to my life list. You can pick up the National Geographic Field Guide to North American Birds over there in the carousel. You can click that link and go pick a copy up right now. And that'll get you down the road. And then you just go start watching birds with your eyeballs, right? But to really start watching birds, it's hard to get close to a lot of birds. And that's where a tool comes in, specifically a pair of binoculars. A pair of binoculars is a great tool to use to be able to see birds up close. Now, this is a pair of National Geographic 8x42 binoculars. Let's talk about what those numbers mean real quick. 8 talks about the magnification of the eyepieces right here, right? And 42 tells us that the diameter where the light comes in is 42 millimeters. So that gives you the ability to compare binoculars of sizes and power. 8x42s is right in the sweet spot of bird watching. These National Geographic binoculars offer standard focusing, right? Focus for your left eye, and then a diopter to focus for your right eye. This is a really good selling product right here on Amazon. If you go over and click on the link in the carousel, you can go over and take a look. It's in excess of the above 4.5 star reviews, and lots of reviews over there. A really good selling pair of binoculars here on Amazon. Glad to send you a pair of these today, and so you can start your hobby in a couple of days. They are all Prime eligible. Everything over in the carousel today is Prime eligible. So show you a little bit about them. You can see they're fully coated. Great pair of binoculars. They have internal prisms that make everything right side up. They pass the twist test with flying colors, unless you're like one of my coworkers who can probably twist these in two, like he did live on the air for another pair of binoculars I'm going to show you here in just a minute. He popped one of the lens pieces off. It was really easy. We put it back together and glued it back together, and everything was fine. So very solid pair. Comes with a case and a neck strap. I haven't put the neck strap on, and a cleaning cloth as well. So this is the National Geographic 8x42 binoculars. This is a great pair of binoculars, inexpensive, not a lot of money, and get you down the road to participate in a hobby that is an immensely popular hobby in the United States. I intended to look up how many people do bird watching in the United States. It's a significant number. I'll do that and have that on it next week's show. Don't have any bird pictures that I sent Paul, so he may be doing Stump the Chump here in just a minute with some birds from around North America, and we'll see how I do if he does that. And it's just sort of like a pop quiz. He likes to stump me. So National Geographic 8x42 binoculars over in the carousel. Now, I'm going to switch real quick here, and we're going to talk about a pair of binoculars for kids. If you've seen the show before, you've seen me talk about the Bresser kids specialized 6x21 binoculars. These are an inexpensive pair. They are not toy binoculars. The kids specialized, I think, makes it sound like it's a pair of just cheap binoculars. These are not cheap binoculars. This is a pair.
I'm showing you that you need to bring them up.
Oh, okay. I can't see your hand over there. It's behind the camera. I just see you doing something. This pair of binoculars has glass lenses, a solid body, pass the twist test unless you're like Tyler, and put your thumb right here and push with your thumb. Well, okay, he popped that off. No harm though. When the prism came out, we put the prism back in, put it together, it worked, so we glued everything back into place, and they work just fine. Comes with a neck strap that is a safety connection, so if your wee one gets hung up on a tree branch or something, its pressure is going to make this pop off. Either the string's going to break or it's going to pop out of this little connector right here, one or the other, and you're going to be able to take care of that. So can you explain the power numbers on binoculars and what they actually mean? Okay, got a really small screen this morning, this afternoon. Thanks, Wade, for the question. Sure can. These are 8x21s. Let me get these 8x40 or 6x21s. Here's the 8x42 binoculars we just had just a second ago. So these are 8x42s and these are 6x21s. What that means is these have 8 power eyepieces, so they see 8 times what your magnified 8 times what your eye sees. Or alternatively, it's like being 8 times closer than you are. These are 6 power eyepieces, okay? And the second number talks about the diameter of the opening. As you can see right here, these binoculars, these in my right hand, have an objective end of 42 millimeters, and the Kids Specialized Binoculars from Bresser has 21 millimeters. Therefore, this is a 8x42 and 6x21 binoculars. So that means this magnifies things by a power of 6, or like you are 6 times closer than you are. All binoculars use this same method. It works well and it's universal. The bigger the objective end, like right here, the bigger the objective end, more light goes in. Obviously, this is a small pair of binoculars that's been designed for easy carrying and small hands, but I can use these. What makes them kids is the eyepieces don't open as far as on a regular pair, a big pair of adult binoculars. You can see lining up the eyepieces. These are a little bit farther, probably 1/4 to 1/2 an inch apart, so you can kids can do this. Well, for me, I have to squeeze them into about right there to get them to be my interpupillary distance, interpupillary between the pupils. So from the center of this pupil to the center of that pupil is my IP distance. If you have glasses, you can ask your doctor, eye doctor, what that is, and they can tell you. But if you have binoculars, you don't need to know. You simply can adjust them until you see through both eyes really well and see a circle, not a double image, right? So love this pair of binoculars. Very affordable. And look, if you're going to buy some for your kids, if you want to get a kid into bird watching, buy a pair for yourself and take them out bird watching and use the same binoculars they're using. Gonna make that kid feel special and that you're using the same gear that they're using, that makes them feel better about what they're doing. It's a statement that these are good enough for you and they're good enough for me. These are fine binoculars. We were up at the Nebraska Star Party doing an astronomy event a couple of weeks ago, and we had these were a pair of door prize binoculars, and the guy who was handling the door prizes said he got them and went, oh boy. And he took them out and he said he was blown away. John Johnson said he was blown away by how bright and how crisp this pair of binoculars was, especially for the price. And he said any kid that gets these as a door prize, and that's what it was a kid's door prize, is getting a real pair of binoculars. Has a diopter so you can focus your left eye. Right? It's going to look like this, and I advocate covering it up because when you squint one eye, it changes the shape and the eyelids and around your eye. So I advocate focusing, right, and covering up the right eye and focusing, and then covering up the left eye. And now, instead of focusing with this, you turn the diopter, and then you can get that in great focus right there. And that's how you focus a pair of binoculars. All good binoculars have a diopter. The benefit is, if both eyes are in focus, your eyes are not straining, right? Eye strain is killer and makes your eyes hurt, it makes your head hurt. If you get a good pair of binoculars that fit your eyes and have a good interpupillary distance, then focus, you're off and running. Now then, binoculars have prisms in them, and those prisms can get knocked out of alignment. When that happens, when you look through the binoculars, you're going to have two images, not one. So it's going to be like two images. For me, I'm seeing two images of a camera, and they're right on top of each other. But if they're side by side or a little bit off, then those mirrors, prisms, have gotten knocked out of alignment. And with our binoculars, with the Alpen line, you can send those in, and we can recollimate them unless they're broken. So these are the kids' specialized 6x21 binoculars. Go pick yourself up a set now. They're under $30 in the carousel. Click on the carousel. Go get yourself a couple of pairs and take a kid outside. Take them bird watching. Introduce them to something that's not an electronic game, but a real life thing to do. Got a question coming in from Wade. Just ordered a pair for my son. Wade, need to order a pair for yourself too. Absolutely. I'm telling you, when they come in, you're going to see these and you're going to say, I need a pair for myself. The only issue may be that depending on your interpupillary distance, they may not be wide enough for you to use, and that's something you can test out. But
pairs, one for each eye.
Yep. Paul's eyes are on the side of his head more or less, and they're literally like right here, and he can't, we have one pair that he can almost use and see. So, hey, Wade, I would love for you to get some video of your kid using the binoculars and send it to me sometime. You know how to do that, and might make a commercial out of it. Who knows? So, Braulio Reyes says, looks nice for a gift. Absolutely. If you got a kid that's interested in the outdoors, interested, in sport, these are great for sporting events, going to a soccer match or football game, baseball to watch your brother in the outfield or whatever, or if you're sitting a long ways off to look in and see what's going on at the plate. But you're going to be a hero gift giver with a pair of these binoculars for the right kid who's interested in birding or the outdoors or just likes optics. I sold a pair of these to a former coworker yesterday. She has a turning 9-year-old grandson, and she was wanting a pair of binoculars and a magnifying glass, and we were able to take care of that. Here we do sell some 3 and 5 power magnifying glasses as well, and she was tickled to get them and was excited about the price. She had prepared to pay a whole lot more, and I was really excited about the pricing on these binoculars and even on a lot of other stuff. She has been shopping for other grandkids here and is excited to have the ability to come look at them and be served by a science-oriented company. So now we're going to look at the Alpen Magnaview 8x25. Okay, when you get to the Alpin line of binoculars has a little bit better binoculars. They're fully multi-coated. So what that means is, fully coated means that there's a coating on this surface and a coating on this surface. So on the two air-facing surfaces, right? Fully multi-coated means that every surface of the lenses that has light pass through it are coated. And these are proprietary coatings. They enhance and sharpen and brighten the image, brighten the view through the binocular. So what I like about this pair of binocular, the 8x25 Alpin, is that they fold up really nice in a small, compact size. So you're giving up a big pair of binoculars to carry around with a lot of high power and big objective lenses in exchange for the ability to do this, right? Bingo, there we go. Or even having a holster that comes with a carrying case that you can put on your hip and carry it in a holster on your hip. But right here, I've now got a pair of binoculars with me all the time when I'm out in the woods. It's not bothersome. I've carried binoculars this way before, or put them out around your neck and store them here, right? That's another option as well. So these are the Alpen 8x25 binoculars. I didn't tell you about another important point. In addition to being fully multi-coated, this pair of binoculars right here, this pair of binoculars is waterproof. All the Alpen line, after you get above the Magnaview, are waterproof binoculars. That means they're argon purged. So when these were assembled, the air inside was evacuated. Basically, these were sunk into a container that has argon in it, and the argon forces all the air away. By forcing the air away, the air takes all the moisture with it. Argon is an inert dry gas, so it can't fog up. And then it's assembled and put together, and it's now waterproof, so no moisture from the outside can get in. And that means that if temperatures happen right, with other binoculars, you can get internal fogging. But with waterproof binoculars, that waterproof is important for the insides because now they won't fog up. Additionally, if it starts raining on you, you don't want to let these get soaking wet, but they're waterproof. You can put them underwater a few feet. And we've jokingly said we need to make a video of a scuba diver using our waterproof binoculars. We would advise that, but fun, silly video to do at some point. Like all good binoculars, center focus for your left eye, diopter for your right eye. Really a nice set of binos right here. These are the Alpen Magnaview 8x25 binoculars. Once again, means they have 8 power and 25 millimeter objective. Compare them to the first ones, which were also 8 power, but you can see the 42 and the 25 have a vast difference in size. These are going to put more light into your eyes. These are more compact and easier to carry. It's always trade-offs. What do you want and what do you need? Braulio says, is a nice idea, scuba with them. I think you probably couldn't see with them, Braulio, because the water is going to cause some strange refraction of light. But, it may be a fun little thing to try. Moving along to another pair of binoculars. This is the... Sir? Paul, what'd you say? I got some video running. Okay, there's the video of the binoculars we just had. Those are the Magnaview 8x25 binoculars right there.
They come in different sizes. Do you keep it in
Different. That's correct. We have different magnifications. These are ones, and I can't tell you what the different sizes are, but the Magnaview in that compact, it comes with some other sizes as well. So, all right, so here we go. This is the Shasta Ridge binocular from Alpin. We're going to be Alpin from here on out. These Shasta Ridge binoculars are fantastic. We're in the Alpin line, and they're all going to be fully multi-coated, which means, yep, you're right, all the glass surfaces have been coated with proprietary coatings. What did you say, Paul?
Which one is it?
Who answered it correctly?
Which one is it?
Shasta Ridge. 10x42s.
10x42.
10x42s, thank you. These are 10x42s instead of 8 power. They're 10 power or 6 power like the kids' specialized binoculars. These are 10 power. What that means is the eyepieces magnify things by a factor of 10. That means you can get closer to things farther away. The whole thing about bird watching is you want to get close visually to the birds. Why? Because that allows you to see the fine colorations and some fine details that'll maybe tell you and be able to be used with your bird book to decide what kind of bird you're looking at, right? So you have to look at it, memorize, sort of think about, okay, it's got a cinnamon colored stripe above its eye. It's got coloration on its breast like this, and it's clearly a sparrow. And you go look up in the bird book and flip through the pages and you determine that it is a chipping sparrow. So you look at the marks called field marks and then look them up in the bird book. People who are really good at bird watching and have done it for a long time, they have hundreds and hundreds of birds memorized, the specific field marks. For instance, when we were up in Nebraska, there were swallows everywhere, and looking in the bird book, it became certain what birds they were, because when they were flying, they had a V-tail, and that V-tail on the swallows is one of the prime field marks for barn swallows. The other is that they are a very, very iridescent blue or a purple, very beautiful bird, very easy to identify once you know some of the field markings. So you learn the field markings, and then that helps you identify birds. The other thing to do is, and I can do this with some birds, is you can identify them by ear. And when we're up in Nebraska on our way up, we camped for one night in Grand Island, Nebraska, and heard a northern bob white. And you could hear one or two northern bob whites doing their bob white call. Never saw them. They were out along a cornfield. And if you've never been in a cornfield of commercial corn, the corn stalks are 8 to 10 feet tall, and you know, things can hide in there really, really well. So these Alpen Shasta Ridge binoculars, these are the 10 by 42s, come with captive objective covers. These little covers slip into a little channel right here. You can pull them out, but I just leave them there. It's my advice. And come with a pair of eyepiece covers. Has a slot in here that you can attach these to the neck strap. So you just pull them off and let them dangle, and they're not going to get lost because they're attached to the binoculars. This pair of binoculars has been re-engineered. Alpin had been around for a long time. In 2016, I think, they closed down, went out of business, and in 2018 we bought the name, and that's basically it in the URL, and relaunched manufacturing. They had not done any manufacturing for a couple of years, and some of the lines had been, you know, the pieces and parts have been parted out, and the equipment to make the binoculars no longer existed, so we had to re-engineer them. We kept the Shasta Ridge name. Compare an old pair to this pair is impressive how much brighter, more compact, streamlined the Shasta Ridge line of binoculars is. Great, solid pair of binoculars. Hey, Paul, what time is it?
30.
Okay. Great, solid pair of binoculars. You can't go wrong if you're wanting to make a mid-range investment in your bird watching hobby. These are also good for sports. They're good for you know, backpacking, hiking, camping. Obviously great for bird watching as well. They come with a great carrying case that has a belt loop, so you can carry it on your belt in a holster. And one of the things I like about, you get up to a certain point, the neck strap of these Alpen binoculars is made out of stretchy neoprene. Not going to dig into your neck. Great for a day. Nice, wide, soft, non-skid on the back, so it's going to help keep them on your shoulder if you have them on your shoulder. I like these a lot. The neck straps I grew up with were about this thick right here, but they were made out of hard plastic, and boy, that made for a long time if you're out with your dad in the woods looking at birds, or going along a fence row and they're digging into your neck, or a hot day out at the football field using them to watch plays at the other end of the field. That got old real quick. These are a fantastic upgrade and really make the Alpen binoculars a really comfortable pair of binocular to wear. So, Paul, you got to get a clock in there. Well, Wade, there's a clock in here, but sometimes it's on the screen, and sometimes, Wade, it's not. And when it's not, I have to keep track of what time it is. All right, so I'm going to finish up the day with the Alpen Apex, which is Apex, top of the mountain. The Alpin line are named after a lot of mountains, basically, and the Apex is the very top of the line. This is our top of the line spotting scope. It is a 20 power to 60 power. So the others were 6, 8, and 10 power. This starts out as a 20 power device, and with the rotating zoom, zooms up to 60 power, to 60x, and has an objective aperture of 80 millimeters. So, you know, the biggest pair of binoculars I showed, those National Geographics, those had an objective lens of 42 millimeters. This is 80 millimeters, so almost twice the diameter. But here's the cool thing. It doesn't bring in twice the light. It brings in like 5 times the light because it gets round and it gets bigger. So this brings in a whole bunch more light. So let's talk about that, what it does. A telescope, binocular. Binocular is two little telescopes side by side. This is a little telescope with a prism built in, but the objective size effectively makes your pupil the diameter of the objective. So imagine if your pupils were 80 millimeters in diameter, what more you could see in dim light, how much more you could pull in and transmit to your brain. That's sort of the function of what's happening. It's making your pupil that big. This this spotting scope has an internal prism in it that makes everything erect, so right side up and left to right, unlike a telescope where things are going to be upside down and potentially backwards depending on how you're using it. It has a coarse focus right here and a fine focus, so you can really fine-tune the focus on the subject you're looking at. It comes with a 1/4 to 20 tripod hole here. This model does not come with a tripod, not a tabletop or a standard size, but a standard 1/4 to 20 hole, and you're getting some B-roll right there. What I like about this is, if you have it sitting somewhere and you want to be able to look at it while, say, you're still sitting down on a picnic table, you could roll it over here just like this and then look through it. You can make it turn using this little screw in the mounting ring, and you can find a really comfortable viewing angle for your eye. So a spectacular device, twist-up eye cups like the binoculars have. And here's something cool. Twist-up eye cup. Here is something that's cool. It comes, this is waterproof, right, and fog-proof. It has a slide-out, glare lens cover and dust cover, dew shield. It also comes with a nice nylon carrying case. And here's the cool thing about the nylon carrying case. You can carry it in the nylon carry case and continue to use it because this end is open. So I'm going to go ahead and zip this up just a little bit. There we go. So now I can carry this in my vehicle and not worry about it getting, covered in dust and grime. But when I need to use it, I can just pull it out and go to work. Over in the carousel, we also have a window mount, so it slides down over your window, a little U that goes on your rolled down window and turns your window into basically a tripod so that you can view out of your vehicle as well. How do you hook it up? Well, there's a little zipper right here that, when zipped, it hides the 1/4 to 20 screw, but when you open it up, the 1/4 to 20 screw is exposed right there, ready to go on your tripod. This will zip up and cover it up to protect the lens, so you can unzip it, pop the dust cap off, unzip it a little bit, you're ready to go. If it's raining a little bit, this is going to help protect it, but you can still access the focus and the zoom function. This is the Alpen Apex 20 power to 60 power with an 80 millimeter objective lens spotting scope. If you want to make an investment in a spotting scope, this is a way to go, because compare this to other models with similar attributes, and you're going to find that this is a very affordable item that you can pick up compared to others, very cost competitive. And looking down right now, if you like the shirt I'm wearing, you can go to click on that button and go buy a shirt like this one, come in lots of colors. I like these shirts, and this color right here has drawn a lot of compliments from people. I've actually had strangers who have said, man, that's a good looking shirt on you, which is very disconcerting when people that you don't know talk about your shirt, but it's a good looking shirt. They like the color. Anyway, so I think that brings us to the end of the show. Paul, any more comments out there? Is that it? That's it. All right, so look, if you've not been on before and you like what you're seeing, please click that follow button. Honor us with that. We try to do a lot of education here. Yeah, we're selling stuff, but we try to do a lot of education about the products we're selling, how they work, and what they're good for. Pick up a bird book, get a pair of binoculars, and if you already have a bird book and a pair of binoculars, that's awesome. Get out there and start looking at the birds in your neighborhood. Start writing them down, do a little bit of hobby building, and take a kid out with you, because they are the future and we need to be spending time with them. in the hobbies that we love. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock for Focus on Astrophotography, where I'm going to be sharing a couple of pictures I took while up in Nebraska. Maybe, I think we showed them last week with the worked ones. I'm going to show you what the raw ones looked like. And next week I'm going to be working on doing some stacking. So with that, on behalf of Paul Newton over in the control room and Noah Menard over in the Amazon Marketplace, I am Kent Martz with Explore Scientific. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us here on Amazon Live. See you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for Focus on Astrophotography. Bye-bye, everybody.